For a check of today's business news, joining me now is independent analyst Evan Lucas. Evan, good to see you. Just back on the renewable energy and the energy market operators' comments. It's not a good look for Anthony Albanese and his government after they promised that renewable energy would bring down bills. That's unlikely to happen, according to the market operator.
Yeah, it's the time, right? So it's the timeline behind it. So there is clear evidence that bills, once the infrastructure is built, that it will be cheaper. What is always the grey area is the cost of the infrastructure being modelled back in to the cost of actually getting the operation up and running once it's there. And that's always been the discussion and the argument between renewables, transition, materials like gas, also the coalition sort of plan currently around nuclear energy. I mean, the nuclear one's an interesting debate as well. Currently, their 7 power plants would only put about 4% of overall total energy into the system, and the cost of it's between 116 and maybe even as bad as $450 billion. So the infrastructure is the debate here, and it will continue to be the debate for the next 15, 20 years as we get to a point where, either renewables or other forms of energy finally fill the market to get us to a point that we are sustainable. And that's the trilemma here. I'm just going to finish on that. There's security, there's affordability, and there's sustainability. Are they even or are they uneven? And that's where the debate is at the moment. Sustainability is probably overtaking affordability. Security is the other one.
Yeah. Evan, what did you make of the IMF's inflation forecast for Australia?
Look, not surprising at all. And next Wednesday, we'll get that information about where inflation sits. There are huge forecasts that it will fall back into target of 2 to 3%, but it probably won't. I mean, if you look at what we refer to as sticky inflation, let's define that. Sticky inflation is things that take more than 3 to 4 months to move in price. That's things like rent. It's things like education, medical, personal care, insurance. They are holding at the moment at about 4.5%, 5%. So it's not hard to see their argument. The other part that came out of the discussion this morning was that they are also talking about the fact that government revenue will make a record this year. It will be 36.7% of GDP because they've got a perfect storm. High iron ore prices, the most amount of people employed in history, which means the tax return from personal income tax is at a record all-time high. You then also have the final part of that, which is that government revenue with regards to corporate tax is also at a record all-time high. So we're getting surpluses, but a taxation system that's absolutely draining the household as well. That will be the other part of the IMF report that really stings.
Evan Lucas, really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks.